Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's weekly live immigration attorney chat here at Immigration for Couples. I'm attorney Megan Pastrana, and I'm the owner and CEO of Immigration for Couples, and our firm is dedicated exclusively to helping couples across the nation and across the world and navigating the U.S. immigration process. And we host these weekly live attorney chats on our Facebook page, Immigration for Couples. So if you're watching this on our YouTube channel or one of our other social media outlets, I invite you on over to check out our Facebook page and to be able to participate in these weekly chats. We will answer, or I rather will answer your questions live if you have them. And if you happen to be watching this on the replay, please do a hashtag replay. Let me know what you thought of today's live, if it was helpful for you, or if you have other questions and that might be topics I can address in future lives. And I see we already have our viewers coming in here. Eds, it's great to see you. I love seeing you here every week. You know the drill. If you have questions, throw them in the comments. And, oh, yay! Congratulations! I know that you have both been from you participating in the weekly lives, giving us updates. I know you've both been in that process and taking steps. And so congratulations. That's so wonderful. We're celebrating all of you. And yeah, thanks for letting us know. We're excited. Okay. Yeah. And again, for those of you who are new, or if you're our regular viewers, we do have a free resource center at immigrationforcouples.com. Our resource center, we created it because we know how important it is for you to have clarity and support in your immigration journey. We have a free relationship evidence guide. That's a really important part of your case to prove your relationship. And then downloadable charts for you to be able to see an overview of each of the different processes that are available to couples going through an immigration process. All right, so for those of you who are here live, if you have any questions, like I said, throw them in the comments, and I'm happy to answer those after the topic I have for today. So I have exciting news. I love to be able to share good news. A lot of immigration often is frustrating and stressful, and a lot of times there's not always great news in the world of immigration. So when I can share good, positive information, I love to do so. So green cards in 4 months. That is awesome. And so it's something that I wanted to talk with all of you about. It's a trend. It is something we are seeing in the cases that we are handling for our clients. We are actually having couples who are going through the adjustment of status process. That's the process that happens here in the United States for an individual to receive their green card based on marriage. An adjustment of status is also a process for the fiance visa. So once the fiance receives his or her fiance visa and enters the US, part of that process is filing a green card application. And every once in a while, in immigration, cases will go faster than the wait times. We call those our unicorn cases here at Immigration for Couples. But what we are seeing right now is that numerous cases of our clients have been receiving approval notices, green cards in 4 months and sometimes less. And it's just a trend that we are noticing. And we wanted to share that with all of you. And then also to let you know, really, this is a good example of how immigration, a lot of times there's no rhyme or reason. There's a lot of variables that go into how long your case will ultimately take. Immigration has those online processing times. They go up and then sometimes come down. But the wait time ultimately depends on a lot of different factors. And I've made videos on that topic. And some of those factors include the immigration officer that happens to be reviewing your case, where your application actually falls in the stack in the queue to be reviewed. And so we are seeing these green card applications being approved in rapid record time. And there is, I know you're probably wondering, what happened? What is the rhyme or reason? It's just with immigration. Again, there's not necessarily any reason per se. That we have had clients whose green card applications were filed even before that, and these cases are being prioritized and getting approved. And it's just a trend that we're seeing. And I wanted to go over, so how did we do it? What can you do to ensure that your case could be one of these cases that gets approved quickly? So what we do for all of our clients always is we are very diligent in preparing that application, making sure that it meets all of the immigration requirements, especially in terms of relationship evidence, making sure that application includes the relationship evidence that immigration officer will need to see to be able to approve that case and to avoid a request for evidence. And that also includes your financial evidence and that affidavit of support, making sure all of that, all of the I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and that you're submitting a strong application. And what we have also been doing is sending that medical exam with the green card application to facilitate a faster decision as well, once we saw these cases were being approved faster. The way in which you submit applications is always changing based on immigration requirements and policies and things like wait times. It used to be more beneficial to not mail the medical exam with your application for numerous reasons, but that's what we are currently doing here at our office. So I wanted to give you some kind of insider tips, if you will, on how we're facilitating and helping our clients to be able to get this approval as quickly as possible. And last but not least, if you are eligible, if you are thinking about filing for adjustment of status, or if you've recently entered on your fiance visa and need to file that adjustment of status application, now is the time. You definitely want to take advantage, and that's what we are doing here, making sure, and we always do. We always make sure our clients' applications get out as timely as possible and also balance having the strongest application as possible. But for all of you who are maybe thinking, should I start my adjustment application, or you're working on that fiance adjustment application, now is the time. Definitely get in there. It's all of the applications we've been submitting over the past months have been approved in record time. So it's great news, and I'm happy to share that with all of you. Again, if you're watching this on the replay or one of our other social media outlets, please check out our free resource center at immigrationforcouples.com. We have tons of great tips, advice, and downloadable charts to help you on your immigration journey. Okay, so it looks like I have some comments in here. Yay, Alex, congratulations. That's great that you got your interview date. I know you have been... Okay, awesome. Your case got expedited. That's great. Awesome news. All right, so I have questions and I'll go here in order. So, oh, yes, this is a wonderful question, Shelley. Good morning to you as well. So will USCIS be reducing the times for the I601 waiver in 2024? So the waiting times are quite long for waiver applications. You're typically looking at 24 plus months. There have actually been lawsuits filed against immigration for something called the I601A provisional waiver for really these inhumane wait times for waiver applications. We are hoping to see progress on that front. Our firm participates in the American Immigration Lawyers Association, and we're constantly and always in contact with congressional and representatives and senators, letting them know the impact these wait times have on our clients and the need for there to be a change. So there isn't any immediate changes to those wait times. There hasn't been anything announced. But if you are going through an immigration process that is lengthy, especially those waiver cases, it is always good to let your representatives know how these wait times are impacting you and your life. And it really puts you in a state of limbo. So I'm hopeful. I'm a very optimistic person and always want to take the actions that will result in change. So the short answer is there isn't anything announced currently at present. Immigration is taking steps to address wait times, but nothing that's going to happen overnight, unfortunately. Okay. Okay, let's see. The next question I have, okay, it looks like, Alex, you said you had your interview date and told you congratulations on that. And then you have your interview and you're looking for interview tips. So I have a lot of videos on this topic as well. So you can check that out also on the YouTube channel and on our immigrationforcouples.com resource page for your interview, making sure you have all of the required documents. I believe, if I remember from your participation in prior lives, you had a case where you will have a consular or embassy interview, that you're not currently in the US, but I might be mistaken. I'm trying to recall. But either way, it's really important to make sure you have all of your required documents. It depends on your particular case and where you will have your interview as to what is required. But in general, your civil documents, your birth certificate, if you're married, your marriage certificate, prior divorces, background check, all of the required documents that happen to be necessary for your particular interview location and based on your particular case. Always be honest in your questions. Always review all of your information, everything you've submitted to immigration to present. What we do with our clients is we do a mock interview, if you will, and look back at those prior applications, ask questions about evidence. You should know dates, important dates, when you met, how you met, things of that nature. All right. So really, it's just a matter of making sure you have all that evidence and that you are prepared for that interview, okay, in terms of the questions that they will ask by looking back at your prior applications, and always being honest. All right. Good luck with your interview. All right. So thank you so much for joining us. Hey, so you recently were approved for your petition, and you wanted for your fiance visa petition, and you want to know if you can come to the US while your case is being transferred to the NVC. You plan to visit for the holidays soon. So I have a video on this topic, and this is one of the top questions that I get asked. And if you have ESTA, if you have a tourist visa, something of that nature, that you're able to legally enter the United States, then you would be able to visit the United States while your application is pending. We help our clients to be able to do that all the time. You have to understand, though, every time that you enter the United States, that entry is what is called discretionary, which means that immigration officer, he or she can decide whether or not they believe you're just coming to visit for a short trip, or whether you have intentions of staying. So they can always turn you away, but you are legally allowed to come and visit. So you'll just want to always have proof too with you of ties and your ties to your home country and intent to return. Like if you were to have a job that you're expected to report back to, and also, letting them know that you're going through the fiance visa process and that you'll be leaving on time and plan to return for your fiance visa interview. So yes, it is legally permitted as long as you have that legal authorization to be able to do so, and you don't have any complicating factors in your immigration background, like overstays in the past. All right. Congratulations, though. That's really exciting news, and best of luck with the next phase of your case. Okay. Okay, Mohammed, thanks for joining us. So you have your fiance visa interview coming up, and that you're having trouble finding a sponsor. So your U.S. citizen petitioner would be the first person who should be the sponsor. And if that person to whom you are engaged does not make enough, then what we typically do with our clients, that next step is to look and see, does that petitioner have assets? Because if the person doesn't make enough money, if they perhaps didn't have or don't have a job or don't have that steady stream of income and make enough for that required amount, based on that it's called an I604P chart, is where immigration is going to look and determine how much the petitioner needs to make. If he or she doesn't make enough, then we can use assets. So assets are things like a home, bank accounts, things that can be liquidated, turned into cash, or used if that person doesn't have income. And so that's the next step that we would look at. And then after that, I know finding a joint sponsor is difficult. It's a very big responsibility. A lot of individuals may be hesitant to take on that responsibility, but it's important to remember that really anyone who is a lawful permanent resident or a United States citizen can be a joint sponsor. And sometimes we think only of our family being able to be the joint sponsor, but that could be friends or other people in your life. So, you and your fiance can make a list of all the people that you could ask. So that's kind of the steps, looking at assets and then looking at any possible person who could be a joint sponsor for your case. All right, good luck with your case, and we hope you find a joint sponsor. And okay, so Alex, you're looking at taking your medical exam 30 days before your interview date. Is that okay? Is that cool? It really depends on the embassy. You'll want to look at the requirements. They should have sent you an email when they scheduled your interview to let you know the requirements. Every embassy in each country is different. Some say 30 days before, some say don't do it that early. Some say 2 weeks before, some it's a few days before. So definitely just check out that interview notice that you received. They should have provided you with very detailed information and a link to the instructions for the medical exam. And then something you can also do is contact the clinic where you're thinking of having your medical exam and asking them what is their turnaround time. Sometimes they'll let you know it's going to take us a few weeks. We're very backlogged. And others will say, oh, we can have that. We'll have that taken care of and sent over to the embassy for you today. So it's just going to depend on the embassy, their requirements, and then also that medical exam. But those would be the steps that I would recommend you take to decide if that's a good time frame to do your medical exam. All right. That looks like all of the questions that I have here. Yep, that looks like everything. I got everybody's questions. So it was great to be with all of you today. Again, I invite you to check out our free resource center at immigrationforcouples.com. It was a pleasure being with all of you. Have a great rest of your week.